So now when you think about it, what's a website? What's a web page without links, right? You're going to have a lot of links that you use when you go to a web page. You're going to link to other pages within your website. You're going to link to maybe other websites, if you will. And when you think about it, the web is really a collection of links, and we know just in general that a lot of the content that makes up a web page or a website is files, right? You have image files, you have a number of different files, and a lot of times you're linking to other files and other sources within your website in order to be able to display that information and making it look like it's one smooth collection, if you will, and not a bunch of separate different pieces of information in separate files. So how do you do that? How do you create a link just in general when it comes to HTML? When it comes to HTML, you have to use something called the anchor element. And the format of it is this. Similar to what we did when it came to images, you had to tell the browser, give the browser more information about where to find the image. When it comes to a link, you have to give the browser more information about where the source of that link is. What do you want to link to? And to do that, you use another attribute. You use the href attribute. And as I mentioned, we'll be using attributes quite a bit with HTML. That href attribute stands for hypertext reference. And what you do is, you simply put the href attribute here in the opening tag of your anchor element. You write href, the equal sign, and you put the URL, the link that you want to link to. And then you use the words, whatever words you want to show up on the screen that the user will see, you put right here, and then you close the anchor element in order to be able to close your link. So how would I do that? So let's say right here I wanted to link to blackandeducation.com. Here's the URL for it, search blackandeducation.com. I put it within the href attribute. I put it there as the value. And then here are the words that I want to show up on the screen. And it'll look just like that on the screen. And you can click on it, and it would link to whatever it is you want to link to. It behaves in much the same way. So with that being said, you'll note that you'll be able to style your links in a number of different ways when it comes to CSS. But for right now, just getting the mechanics of how to write a link down is what you want to do. So not only can you do that, and you can link to other sites, maybe you're linking to another page, if you will, something outside of your site. You can also create navigation menus that link to other files, as I mentioned, within your website. So let's say you wanted to make an About Me page, and we're going to do that for this next exercise. We're going to make an About Me page. We're going to create the file. We're going to create about, let's say, _me.html, and that's the name of our file. And all we would need to do, similar to what we did up here, we would need to use the href attribute in the opening part of this anchor element, and instead of the URL or the link, just put the file name. And your browser will know to look for it within the same folder. And then you put whatever words you want to use about me, and then you close the anchor element like that. So that will allow you to actually create a new page, if you will, and link to that page, and actually the beginnings of a navigation menu you're creating. So that's the format. You put the href, the page title, if you will, .html, whatever it is, then the name you want to go right here that you want to be displayed on the screen, and then you close the anchor element. And we kind of alluded to, and we talked a little bit about navigation menus, and that we'd be doing it later on in our chapters, if you will. So now we're going to get a chance to do that in the second part of this exercise. We're going to go ahead and create a simple navigation menu using an unordered list, right? We've already done that, and I mentioned that's how it's often done. So we're going to take our list items, and then all you need to do is you put the list item, the opening part, then you put the anchor, the href part right here, the name of the web page or the file that you want to link to, and then the title that you want to show up on the screen. We're going to make it be home. You close the anchor part and you close the li part right there, that list item. So we're going to see how that looks in just a minute, but let's jump into this next exercise and see how this all looks.